Come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you.
Where the kisses are hers and his. Three's company too. Come and dance on our floor.
Come and dance on our floor.
Take a step that is new.
Take a step that is new.
We've a lovable space that needs your face. Three's company too.
There, look. We went live tonight. Quit your whining. Where is everybody? Why are you leaving me here alone? Oh, crap. It's only Kiwi. What's up, Kiwi? What do you have to say for yourself? Yeah, that's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? Shows you how low my life has gone. Oh, sure. Nikki comes in and says, hi, Kiwi. He doesn't say anything to me. Where the hell you people been all night? By the way, I decided I'm going to put together a trivia for next Wednesday, and it's going to be all Australia friendly.
And I did say hello to you.
Well, yeah, second.
Well, where have you been all night? Sleeping?
I don't need to answer those questions.
I plead the fifth.
Come on, let's go. Get it all out of your system. You got 10 minutes.
I ain't got really much to say. We do need to come up with something for the new fundraiser that's going to be on Sunday, either at 7 or 7:30. Haven't pinned the time down yet.
This week?
Yeah. It's cut it or keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just informed of it.
Should we even ask Kiwi about his fence?
Oh, it's probably not done. How's your tsetse fly bite?
And yeah, it doesn't seem as bad.
Hello, and all.
Trouble is, laying down is the only way to fix my leg when it's bothered me. And once I lay down for a little while, I'm gone. I didn't bother setting an alarm today because I thought, yeah, we'll go on there and not have anything to talk about anyway. So
Oh, see, Endall says hello and hey, but to you, he actually asks, what is happening?
you know, it's because everybody knows that you're oblivious. Does
I know.
my voice sound strange to you?
Yeah, you sound like you're scratchy or you're like your throat's sore or something.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm not feeling anything, but
I know we're supposed to get 2 to 4 inches of snow tomorrow.
ooh, or it feels like is 2 right now. And of course, we're showing snow then for Saturday.
Hmm. No, actually, Mr. Nicky went to bed like an hour, no, almost 2 hours ago,
Ooh,
which means he'll be up at, 2 or 3 doing who knows what. Um, 4 inches of snow does not close the roads, no. Um, is he feeling okay? He's feeling okay, but his sleep habits are, he's cutting down to like 4 hours of sleep at a time and then getting up for 5 or 6 hours and then taking a nap and then a couple
that's what
hours.
I that's what I was doing for a while. I would sleep for a couple hours and get up. It's like I always figured, who cares? You know, I wasn't working anymore. Of course, way back when used to be, I got by on 4 hours or less sleep total every day.
Yes, he has been fed and watered. We actually had chicken and dumplings for supper.
That sounds good. Haven't had that in a while.
Um, and I remember way back when, we would close the bars down at 2 o'clock and be at work the next day at 6. So
Yeah,
no naps or anything, and then turn around and do it the next night. So yeah.
I came across a song a little while ago. Um, I think it's a country song. I'd like to put it to video. I just don't have enough photos and stuff. I don't know where a lot of my photos went to make it work, but it's called "When Did I Get Old?"
Yeah. When
And
did
it's
I
kind
get
of
old?
about that.
When for some reason my body says I need to sleep more than 4 or 5 hours.
I remember when I was in college, there was a guy in my dorm that was convinced I never slept because I'd always be the last person he'd see when he was going to bed, and I'd be the first person he'd see in the morning. If only I'd have spent some of that time in class.
Now, see, when I was working third shift, I would, you know, get off work, get home about 7 o'clock, get the kids to school, lay down at 9, and get back up at 3 and, go all night until the next morning. But now that I'm on day shift, because I am a real night shift person, now that I'm on day shift, it's like I'm tired all the time, except for once I lay down in bed at night.
Yeah, I was always built for late shift too. I always liked being up late at night. Unfortunately, I never had a job with a late shift. For some reason, they didn't like my idea of having midnight hours at the library.
And that's actually a thing I've thought about because, me being on night shift or even second shift, it's like, okay, what can I do at this time of night that I won't get in trouble for? And there's really nothing open except the bars.
It actually would have been interesting to try, at least doing like evening hours. I don't know how many people I'd get for a midnight shift around here.
News starts now. Through noon tomorrow. Difficult travel for the morning commute.
I watched a bit of somebody's live today. Won't mention any names. If people recognize it, they recognize it. But they were just sitting there rambling and complaining about their YouTubing and saying things like, maybe I should just quit. And I didn't bother saying anything, but I thought I knew what my father would say to me. If you're going to quit, quit. But if you're going to do it and stop whining about it.
Yeah. Will Trump really annex Canada? No. because Canada actually belongs to the British Empire or Great Britain or UK or whatever it is now. And all that will do would be actually cause a war. Now, I did hear that Canada is willing to open up their medical system to residents of 3 states. I don't know what 3 states, but I'm sure one
Mhm.
of them is Michigan.
I'm going to guess Arizona, New Mexico.
And Florida.
Yeah. Did you ever see? I can't remember if how long ago I mentioned it on here or on here, the old on here. I remember I saw it on Nasty Nathaniel's channel one time that there is a library in Maine, I guess, that straddles the border of the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, I think there's a town that does the same thing. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, probably the one with the library. Um, Derby Line, Vermont is a town that the US-Canada border splits into 2 countries right along
Huh.
Main Street.
Oh, that's crazy. That'd be interesting. Oh, I always like the line about the art of the deal is I'll read it when Trump does.
No, I have not read that. Right now, my reading is William Johnstone.
Sounds familiar.
Um,
What's he write?
like the Last Mountain Man series.
Okay.
Basically, it's stuff that's like in the Old West, but of course, the Mountain Man is the hero, and
Yeah.
all of that. It's fiction, but it has a lot of true things in it. Like because it was like it's based right after the Civil War, so it has like quadrilles riders and the army going out and making the Indians go to the reservation and stuff like that.
Sounds like the kind of thing I would like.
What about Greenland? Would it be worth buying property now or later? Only if you like cold.
Can you imagine if we somehow actually did annex Canada, how we would ruin that poor place?
Yeah. And Greenland would cause a war with
Denmark?
Denmark, yes. Either way, it's going to bring NATO into it, or not NATO, but the United Nations into it. And yeah, ain't going to happen.
Trump just likes to run his mouth and he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Well, of course, Kiwi, Trump probably figures if his buddy Putin can get away with it, why not him?
Um, and I really don't think he even has the aspiration of taking over. I think a lot of it is like maybe he's trying to turn it like into a tourist spot and then saying, haha, the US took over this tourist spot. College students and reading comprehension. So, college students do not know how have a hard time with reading comprehension. Do you think that that has anything to do with social media and emoticons and stuff like that?
I don't know because when I went to college, I was amazed how many people I met there who did not read.
Really?
Yes,
I must have been lived a very sheltered life.
the funny thing was when I went to electronics school, and of course, didn't do any formal surveys, but it was like 85% of the people going to electronics school. We all read the same kind of books. It was mostly science fiction, which kind of made sense for people going into like a technical area. But I always remember thinking it's weird. So many more people here are talking about books than when I was in an actual college. And the only books those people read were the ones they were forced to.
Wow. I don't know. Maybe it was just the fact my mom always was reading. We were taught to read, if you're bored, pick up a book, that kind of thing. Um, my kids, they always saw me with a book, and I always encouraged them, you know, go find something to read, whatever. And even the grandkids, I the oldest one, I always catch him with a book.
Well, that's like in our house. It was never actually said, but everybody read. It was just kind of taken for granted. Um, Now I do know, like when I think of it, when I was really little, I can remember my mother reading, you know, Uncle Wiggily with me or something, those little kids' books. But like nobody ever said, "Oh, go grab a book" or whatever. It was just everybody was always reading something. And the next generation all picked up the habit too. And I know, like both my niece's kids, they love books.
Well,
My
and
niece
see
up
that
in I was just gonna say one's up in New York. That's their favorite gift to get is a book.
And see, that's the funny thing is my kids, now that they're grown, they don't read, just to read. They read if they
Yeah.
have to, but the grandkids are reading interesting things, or they'll pick up a book. Well,
Hey,
hello,
Kev.
sir. Um, have you decided what time on Sunday? 7 or 7:30?
I don't know if I ever told you one of the things that decided me that it doesn't really matter what people read is, it's like kids, just that they're reading was there was this girl when she was in high school, she'd come in the library. It's like when I first started at the library, she'd come in and in the summertime, all she'd read is those Harlequin romances. Oh, he's saying Monday now. Um, and
No,
that
Sunday.
girl, that girl, a couple years, well, a few years later, now is an oncologist. So it's like, okay,
I'll call you tomorrow. Angry Vet, I'll call you tomorrow.
well, I know it's 7:30 on Monday. I'll be watching Earth Girls Are Easy, but you don't need me.
Go to bed, Kevin.
By the way, I had 3 movies go down in copyright flame.
Okay.
No Josie Wales or Jimmy Cagney.
So now when you get the copyright strikes like that, does that take the channel down too?
It hasn't so far.
Okay.
That's why I test them over on Buccaneers. Because that way, if it gives it a 24-hour or even a 7-day timeout, it won't be a big deal.
Okay.
What I did with those last 3 was I took the first 10 minutes of them and put them together and just played them all. And I figured it would say, because it's like when you play a song or something, then it'll come up and it'll just say that song got a copyright hit. And I thought, it would pick out which ones, and it was like all 3 of them. It's like you can't play them anywhere.
Oh, okay. Love you, Tab. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, that's your dog, isn't it?
No, that is my bad habit machine.
Okay.
I roll my
Because it
own
sounded,
cigarettes.
oh, okay. Because it sounded like a squeaky door, and I thought, oh, I'll bet that's the dog whining about something.
No. I figure since I'm up past pumpkin time, I'll get a few more of these things rolled. Oh, now that was a dog getting out from underneath my table and deciding to step on my feet while she did it. I only do a pack at a time because I have found that if I do, 3 or 4 at a time, I smoke more.
You smoke. Yeah.
So if I only do a pack at a time, it's like I look at it and go, do I really want to do this? Because that means it'll be more closer to me having to dig out the machine and roll some more. Granted, it doesn't take that long. It's just, I'm lazy, and I'll be the first to admit it.
Well, I can understand that though too. It gives you sort of a psychological distance.
hmm I'm just glad I'm not paying for paying for them at the store or grocery or gas station anymore. They're like 9, 8, 9, $10 a pack.
Yeah, I remember a year or two ago, because I never really paid much attention. Pulled into a convenience store. I was waiting for my brother to come out, and I saw they had a big sign on the window, obviously advertising a good price on, some cheap brand cigarettes. And it was like only 59.95 a carton. I thought, holy crap!
Yeah. And you figure, that's $180 a month, roughly. But I only pay 57 for a month. So that was a long, long time ago when they hit $2 a pack.
I can remember when they had the cigarette machines everywhere, and I think it was like 75 cents or something.
Yeah, the vending machines.
Yeah. When I was a kid, when we lived out of town, there was a old guy lived across the street from us, and I used to love to go over there. He'd sit there on a swing, and he had under a tree, and he would roll his own the old-fashioned way, and I was always just fascinated watching him roll them.
Yuck, sushi. Ugh.
I remember when Barb quit, and I don't know why she ever started because nobody in the family smoked. But anyway, I remember her saying she quit when it was probably $2 to $3 a pack, and she couldn't figure out how she used to buy the cigarettes because she hadn't smoked in 6 months and didn't have any extra money in her pocket.
Right. Um,
Oh, Pall Malls, man.
well, believe it or not, I don't know what they cost, but Pall Mall unfiltered is what my dad smoked. And I would grab a couple of his out of his pack. So I've been smoking for 43 years now.
Didn't start till you were 30?
Yeah. But that's what he smoked, and my mom smoked Marlboro 100s in the gold pack, and I would always steal a couple from each of them. But of course, back then I could go to the store and buy a pack of cigarettes and say, "Yeah, my mom sent me."
Yeah. Do you believe I'm sitting here yawning?
Mhm.
So what should I order from the store tomorrow?
I don't know how often will they deliver to you?
Oh, I got my servant that goes down every Friday.
Oh, so you got to order a week's worth of groceries.
Yeah, pretty much. I just I don't have a whole lot. I mean, if if the zombie apocalypse would come or something, I'm sure I've got enough canned goods and stuff like that around that I could survive a couple of weeks. But I don't really have much food around, but like meats and stuff. I just can't think of stuff that I want either.
Right. Um,
I guess I need a Dirk.
get some tuna and you can make tuna salad or
You know what?
tuna noodle casserole.
I forgot I actually have tuna. I have some foil packs of it out there. I should do that. I have boxes of macaroni and cheese that
Mhm.
somebody gave me, and I don't usually make that. So a lot of times I'll just use the macaroni out of it. That's just about the right size to make that macaroni and one pack of tuna with it. That's an idea. See, you're not useless.
Oh, I'm sure there's people who would beg to differ. Let's see, tuna noodle casserole. Um, hmm. You can get canned chicken and make chicken and biscuits or chicken and dumplings or
Well,
something
see,
along those lines.
now you're getting a little too complicated.
Well, that's why I said biscuits because you can get like the canned biscuits
Yeah,
or
those
even
popping
get,
fresh ones that
yeah,
and it's like I know it's going to do it. I know it's going to do it. Yeah!
yeah.
Whenever I was going to electronic school, I was on a very limited budget, and there was a store a couple of blocks from my apartment that I'd go to, and I would have like no food in the house, and I'd only have, I don't know what it would be, $30 or something in my pocket to buy food for a while. And the problem is they had these bins there of returned paperbacks
Uh-huh.
that had the covers torn off of them, which I guess are actually supposed to be destroyed, but the book companies would resell them cheap. But anyway, they were like, I don't know, 10 for a dollar or something really ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go to the store thinking, I'm going to buy some hamburger and make meatloaf. I'm going to get some chicken. I'd end up leaving that store with bread, bologna, and a whole bunch of books.
Jimmy, I can hear your phone out here.
Well, with a little butter and toasted just right there, they tasted pretty good. Three walls of my, well, what would you call it, living room, bedroom. I think they called them a studio apartment. It
Yeah.
had a kitchen and a bathroom, but then the rest of it was all one room. Three walls of it was bookshelves.
Um, will you come and do my cup? Roll your eyes. That's what kids are good for.
You're a pain in my ass.
I know I am.
Are you lying?
Yeah, I'm also worthless, right?
No, you're not.
Oh, okay. All right. Dale, you know one person who thinks I'm worthless, but that's beside the point.
Dale's on a roll.
Yeah. And will you make me something to eat? I have to take my pills. Mm, peanut butter taco. See, we gotta talk quiet because he's sleeping.
Uh,
Can't talk like we normally do. Oh, jeez. I just saw something on Facebook. A new map just dropped. It's got Camerica, America, Americo, Guatemerica, El Americador, Costa America, and Americanema, Other American Ocean, Gulf of America, American Ocean, Cuba America, American Republic. Jeez.
This is true also, Dale.
Hmm. Yeah, what is he distracting us from? Thursday. We didn't talk quietly enough. Mr. Nicky's awake.
Oh, there goes the party.
No, I wasn't trying to hide it from you. I was trying to let you sleep. Crabby ass.
Now go make our peanut butter sandwich before that other asshole ruins it.
No, the other asshole already made it.
Yeah. Ooh, cake. That sounds good. For some reason, that reminds me, I wanted to go to Amazon and order some coffee.
Hmm.
Let's see.
And then, of course, yeah, Los Angeles is on fire. And no, not you, Mr. Carey.
The hell?
A cattle hauler rolled over on the highway, so they've shut the interstate down.
That would be nasty.
Well, there's cattle roaming around the interstate.
Where was it at?
Here,
Mm.
oh Lord, now somebody's suing Arby's. They're accusing Arby's of shrinking its portion sizes while keeping prices the same.
You know, when McDonald's came out with the quarter pounder, somebody sued them and won. And that's when they had to start putting on their menu pre-cooked weight. Because they were selling a quarter pound hamburger, but when you got it, it weighed less than a quarter pound because all that good fat was cooked out of it.
Well, isn't that how it's supposed to be? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows when you cook, you lose some of the weight.
Sleep well, Dale.
Have a good night.
Every once in a while, I'll buy those pre-cooked shrimp,
Hmm.
you know, and I always cook them. And the interesting thing about them is, you know, you buy them and they're like this, and I'll just like stir fry them a little bit, and they go like this because they're just sort of packed full of water,
Yeah.
and then they taste better too.
Yeah, the hot coffee lawsuit. That one. It's like, are you kidding me?
You know that that was later reduced, though. You know, they always talk about whatever it was. They've got, you know, $1 million or whatever, some ridiculous amount. But that was later reduced drastically. I forget the exact numbers. Most of those big um, suits, you know, that you see when some company will lose, you know, $800 million or $3 million or whatever the person gets. They never actually get that anyhow. They end up settling then to keep from having to go to court for the next 20 years.
Hmm.
I know that famous hot coffee one. It was just, I think a judge reduced it.
But still, the thing is you're buying coffee. Everybody knows that coffee is hot.
Yeah, I agree, but they also did prove that the machines were set at a higher temperature than they were supposed to be. So there was some negligence.
Well, okay, but still, coffee is hot.
Oh, I know, I know. Although I noticed this morning in my kitchen, I made a cup of coffee, and instead of carrying it into the living room like usual, I sat there at the kitchen table, and I swear by the time I walked the cup of coffee from the Keurig over to the kitchen table, it was already cool enough to drink. And my kitchen is not as warm as my living room. And I don't even bother going out into my laundry room. It's almost as bad as walking outside.
Yeah, my daughter, I don't know what I'm gonna do with her, but she knows that she needs to keep the um, cabinet doors under the kitchen sink open when it gets cold.
Mm.
What did she do? She left them closed. So then she was like, "Well, only my hot water in the kitchen sink froze, but I got hot water in the bathtub, but I got to do dishes." So instead of getting hot water, a pan of hot water out of the bathtub and taking it to the kitchen sink, no, she fills a pan up with water out of the kitchen sink and boils it on the stove. And I asked her why, and she said, "'Cause the stove was closer."
Oh, GMK, how you been?
Hello, GMK.
Yeah, well, there you go. I didn't remember her injury being that bad. I remember house we lived in when I was a kid. My father had to go. It didn't have a full basement under the whole thing. It just had like a crawlway under, like where the kitchen and stuff was.
Hmm.
I remember my father having to go down under there, and he wrapped all those pipes in a, I don't know what you'd call it, a heating tape or whatever. It was
Yeah.
plugged. You plugged it in and warmed the pipes in. Burned her to the bone. That would be nasty.
All right. Well, I've made up um, for the hour last time that I quit early.
Yeah, why? I was only planning on coming in. I figured I'd come in for like 5 minutes or something, just go Oh, see, we went live tonight. You can't complain. I thought it was a pleasant little conversation,
Yeah.
even if Dale was here.
So once I get all that information, I will forward it to you and then await the results.
Yep. See what the plan is.
Yeah. All right. I will see you later.
Yep. Thanks
All
for
right.
coming
Bye.
up,
Mm-hmm.
and thank you, and good night and goodbye to everybody else.
I'm so glad we had this time together, just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time